lot of people don't think about what drove them to law school and what drove them to practice the estate planning in this example, but any other practice area. Because I think if you really dive in deep enough, there is a story there. And if there's not, again, I'll go back to my political stance, make one.
Yeah. So
Leave
like,
it.
is it similar to a differentiator? Like I have a patent attorney client. He's amazing. Shout out to
Mhm.
Greg Stone, and he worked at the patent office. So he makes sure that everyone he comes in contact with in his infomercial, on his LinkedIn, everywhere, it's that he worked at the U.S. Patent Office because
Yep,
that's unique but I mean, I don't know if that's something he can beat a drum and get it in everyone's ear, but I think maybe in his circles he is, that
for
everyone knows
sure.
him as that person. And I'm the be that lawyer guy, I guess, right? That's being
Yeah.
pushed into people's ears all the time. Um, but that's all right. So I take that. I take what you're saying, that I've got a brand and I've got to
Right.
lean into social media. I've got to lean into video, lean into whatever I podcasting, whatever it is, to get that message earwormed into the audience or the prospective clients or the people that would refer me, so that they only think of me.
Sure. And really the truth of that is instead of thinking of 100 video topics that solidify that, sometimes it's easier to do what corporate America does and record one 15-second to 30-second video explaining that your trademark experience and just spending all of your budget putting that into as many places and ears as you can.
Mm,
Because that's really the thing is, Budweiser and brands like that are creating content, but really they're taking this 1 30-second ad and they're running it on every station, every program. And when that's beat to death, they cut it to 15 seconds and they keep running it. And that's really what we're seeing is think of the State Farm, Allstate, they have Mayhem, they have Flow, they have
yeah,
Jake.
progressive.
They,
Yeah, flow.
they take that persona. Flow is a worker at a store. They have a box of insurance. You have Jake from State Farm who represents the ideal customer service. And
Hmm.
Mayhem is what can go wrong. And they create these commercials, they create these campaigns, and they just run the heck out of them. And that's really all you are exposed to them. But you
And
remember,
that works really well until you get to Jared with Subway. Then right, then everything falls
he
apart
might
then.
need a lawyer. Yeah.
All right, so I think I get that. And then but there's also so many channels and options and
Sure.
like I'm not a big fan of TikTok, so I don't do anything with TikTok, and I don't have it on my phone for a number of reasons. Other people may absolutely need TikTok in order
Sure.
to hit their dynamic, customer base or profile or whatever it might be. So I get having a strong 15-second message or ad or theme or whatever, but then how do you figure out like what channels to put it on?
Sure. So as far as if you're paying for advertising, I'm focusing on where my clients are or my potential clients are. If I'm focusing on organic, I'm focusing on where I want to be. Because if I'm going to be pumping out content, I have to want to be there or else
Mm.
it's not going to work. It's like when you want to go to the gym, but you're really not really interested in going and you go a few times and stop. What happens? You have to want to be there. Advertising doesn't matter. You don't have to live there. We can just put money there with the
Yeah.
creator there and it's going to run. So it's really about figuring out where your audience is. You may want to be in the magazines that you read or the publications you read, but if your audience isn't there,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be there. But for example, if you don't like TikTok or if you're not interested in Reddit, but you have an audience there, it makes sense to still have a paid presence there, advertise there, drive them to where you're at, but still be there.
Hey, everybody, I know you're enjoying this interview. To hear more just like this, check out all of the podcasts on our website. Link is in the description below.
That's
You
how I
know,
balance that.
yeah, and something that we have in common a little bit is I think before I met you, I mentioned that I did try getting into the marketing space for a few years. I
Yeah.
worked with a partner, and we tried to find vendors that we could outsource websites to and outsource social
Yeah.
media marketing and things like that. And I hated it because in the world I'm in, I'm teaching people to fish, and I'm getting them to the level where they don't need me anymore, and they're just crushing it because they took what we're working on so seriously, and it changed the way that they, ran their life. And with marketing, you're kind of doing it for them. But then if you need things from them, they can't get it to you. If you expect them to give you time, they don't give it to you. And it was a lot of like me waiting for stuff from them that I never got. And then I'm the bad guy because I didn't get it done on time or whatever. And I know you felt that too. What's the new model that you're working with? Because it's not just marketing. You figured out that the marketing alone isn't necessarily where you wanted to spend your time.
Sure. I think that there's a few different ways that I'm looking at it. I think the marketing industry as a whole is really going to like a subcontractor type of market. I think you're going to start getting a lot of specialists. And I think that's the way that good people do it. I think if you want a good design, you go to a graphic designer. You go to an agency, you're going to get the graphic designer that is doing their best work on their side work, and this is their 9 to 5, and they're just churning away at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you go to the ad manager directly, the production company to do your video, the designer to do your graphics. I think that that's where things are going to be going when it comes to skills, because I think people are just really trying to find their specialty so they don't get replaced, you know? I think people are really trying to just do good work that they're proud of, and there's a lot of quantity out there, and a lot of people want to go into quality. So I think that that's really the first thing, is really just making sure that like who you work with is really specialized in what they do. That's going to be where you're going to get the best results out of. But I think the other thing that's a problem with marketing is it's so focused on, like you said, solutions to that people are just reading online or trying to be the quickest to it, but it's not solving the real problems. Like it's creating temporary fixes. It's either creating maybe a jump in sales, or if it's worse, like a jump in impressions and no sales increase, right? It's a lot of vanity metrics. It's a lot of just getting eyeballs. And I think that's important. But when we were working with firms, the hard thing was there's a lot that's out of control of marketing. I'm not there for the sales calls. I'm not there for the case management. I'm sometimes not there for the tech, but I'm there for the marketing, or vice versa. And there's a lot that's out of control. And for us, we pivoted because we wanted to find a way to solve all these problems at once, to give them the full solution.
Mm-hmm.
That if they don't really care about what name is on the building, they just care about owning their firm and making it the best they can and practicing law the best they can and scaling that and making that doable. We wanted to work with them. Before, it was hard because everybody has that intention. But like I said, owning a business is hard. So you can have all the best intentions, but your marketing can be kicking butt, but so many other things failing that it affects both. Or
that's really what I liked hearing from you when we spoke before we got together today, was that it's like you're treating a part of the body when really you need to treat the whole body.
Correct.
And you've got, hey, the marketing is great, but your technology, your operations, your finance, your sales, all the different pieces that make up what need to happen for any business to be successful. And if one of those slips, it affects everything, but you're only helping them on one piece. The rest of it slips, and then the marketing is flushed down the toilet in many cases.
Correct. And then from a business owner's perspective, you have your marketing guy, you got your bookkeeper, you got this, you got that. If one of them slips, I mean, you're still managing the tribe. Like it's still not easy. So again, we tried to come up with a solution that was going to be almost managed for them, where we can have those best vendors in. But for a small business owner, and they're out there just trying to figure out the best bookkeeper, the best website designer, developer, you're going to hear the same stuff from everybody, and it's exhausting to even go through it.
If you want to check out more about what Fretzin does every day to help you be that lawyer, confident, organized, and a skilled rainmaker, please check out our services page on our website. Just go to the website, check it out. I know you'll enjoy it. Thanks.